Thanks for staying with us. Despite a Supreme Court judgment declaring that the National Assembly lacks legislative power over gaming, lottery, and related activities, the Apex Court nullified the National Lottery Act, describing it as unconstitutional and void in all states of the Federation, restricting its application only to the Federal Capital Territory, FCT. The proposed legislation seeks to establish a central gaming commission to regulate all forms of online and remote gaming nationwide, replacing the repealed National Lottery Act of 2005 and its 2017 amendment. Joining us this morning in the studio is a member of the Federation of State Gaming Regulators of Nigeria and the Director General of your State Gaming and Lottery Board, or Lajide Boladuro. Welcome to the show, sir.
Good morning, ladies. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. So what is your initial reaction to the Senate's move to consider the central gaming bill despite the Supreme Court ruling?
Well, thank you. So it was shocking because this is a fight, a tussle that has been on for 16 years. I'll give you guys a little background. In 2008, when the federal government was overreaching into the gaming and lottery space, the then general manager of Lagos State Gaming Commission, Mr. Lanre Gbajabiamila, at that time, went to his attorney general, who was Lawal Pedro at that time, who wrote the originating summons to sue the federal government, affirming the fact that the states are the ones that has the right to regulate the gaming and lottery space. Okay. So he was the one that filed the lawsuit in 2008. So fast forward. When he left that position, he was appointed as the DG of the National Lottery Regulatory Commission in Abuja. Okay. And he did a 360 and he started fighting the states on the same case that he initiated. Wow. So that is why I said this is quite interesting. Yeah. So it's more of a personal agenda, or more than trying to uphold the Constitution. I mean, the judges were clear. So a case of 16 years that has been on and back and forth eventually was put to rest on the 22nd of November 2024, when all the judges unanimously said that the Constitution, the gaming and lottery is neither in the exclusive list or the concurrent list, so that makes it a residual matter which only the states legislatures can legislate on. So the states are the ones that has the powers to legislate on gaming and lottery. So it was quite appalling and shocking when we found out that a bill was being pushed through the lower chambers, and it was hurriedly passed and was now sent to the Senate for concurrence. So it's the country that we live in.
Wow.
Okay. So, our viewers were here to give them more clarity on how this proposed bill conflicts with the constitutional powers of state governments over gaming regulation. So maybe it needs to be more clarified so they can understand more about the constitutional powers that this proposed bill seeks, that conflicts.
Okay, so first of all, the Constitution is clear, like I said earlier on, and it conflicts in the sense that the states is where these operations are domiciled. Their arguments talking about online is it's bogus, because before the Constitution we didn't have internet, and because the internet has now come, it does not mean that we will now change to another system without amending the Constitution. If that needs to be done, then the Constitution needs to be amended. But nothing has changed. I mean, the Supreme Court was clear, like I said. I mean, the justices of the Supreme Court went through this case judiciously, and even the current Chief Justice of the Federation, Justice Kudrat Kekereekun, was on that case before she became the Chief Justice, so she understands it well. And eventually they ruled that this gaming thing is neither in the concurrent list or in the exclusive list. So it's a state matter, it's a matter that is vested upon the states to regulate, and we have been doing it wonderfully well. But they want to centralize things. We are trying to move away from
that centralization.
Exactly, from that centralization, and you are bringing that back into our field. And like I rightly said again, it is not about what they want to do, is about an individual.
Okay, so this is looking to me like a conflict of laws. thing, and I'm wondering what are the differences between this proposed repeal of the National Lottery Act and the new Central Gaming Bill?
Okay, so
are there differences really?
Okay, so the National Lottery Act of 2005 that was repealed, because I can read some of the declaration to you that the judges actually said. They said clearly that the National Lottery Act N145 law of the Federation of Nigeria made by the National Assembly are inconsistent with the provisions of the 1999 Constitution. So that is one of the declarations that they made. So they actually declared on that day, I was in court, I was physically in court on that day, and they actually said that the act that enacted the National Lottery, the National was unconstitutional. So that fizzles out National Lottery Regulatory Commission. So National Lottery Regulatory Commission is now, it was now declared defunct and unconstitutional, so they cease to exist. And various other lawyers, even the Attorney General of the Federation during the legal day made reference to this judgment. So it's very clear. There's no ambiguity. There's no lacuna in the law. The states are the ones that has the right to regulate the gaming and lottery space, and that is the long and short of it.
Okay, so if we were to look at it practically, the creation of the Central Gaming Commission, how does it affect state-level regulators like yours? Okay,
so what it does is it creates what we have already settled, because we have foreign operators, we have local operators that we license in our various states. Okay. And what this does is it now brings them back to what has been happening to them in the past, as in double taxation. I'll make it clear to you. So even when at that time when the defunct National Lottery Regulatory Commission was existing, they will license them in Abuja, and they will tell them to go to any states and go and be doing their business, and that's not right. So the ones that were smart will get licensed in Abuja, and they will come to Lagos State and get licensed. So that's double taxation, and it's quite unfair on those people that have invested in this country. Gaming and lottery is a very, very huge industry all around the world. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry, and so you see where I'm coming from. It's really
so that brings me to my question: why do you think the federal is interested in? And I know you said it's one person, but definitely the one person did not just come up with the idea. He must have had consultations with other people who are in agreement for it to pass to this level. Why do you think there's a specific interest in moving gaming to federal, knowing that it's a multi-billion-dollar industry?
Well, he has, Mr. Gbajabiamila has interest. He has interest in himself, really. Because this lower chamber that passed it, as you know, his brother is the chief of staff to the president, former speaker of the Green Chamber, and the current speaker of the Green Chamber is an ally of Mr. Femi. So, the agenda is not something that is supported by the whole National Assembly. Especially even in the Green. I saw the video of when the bill was passed. It was like pushed through, like bang, 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 and we're gone. They did a public hearing that there was a rebellious audience at the public hearing, and even at that, they still went ahead and passed the bill and pushed it to the Senate. So we're now asking the Senate not to go the route of the Green Chamber, to look at this very critically. And faithfully, the first time that the bill was read on the Senate floor, the Senate president is not aligned with it. There's some other members, like former governor of Edo State, Governor Adams Oshiomhole, raised an objection against it. I thought there's a Supreme Court judgment against this. Why are we talking about? So we have been canvassing a lot of senators. I was in Abuja last week, and a few senators are looking into it critically and are quite interested, and they don't want to rubbish the National Assembly, especially the Red Chamber. They want to make sure that they understand what is going on and uphold the Constitution, the rule of law, and most especially the judgment of the Supreme Court.
Okay, so this leads me to the cocoa of the matter, money. Because at the end of the day, that's why we're all running helter-skelter. So what potential impact could this bill have on revenue generation, for states already running their own gaming boards?
Okay, so that means what it's going to do is the little IGR that we are getting to survive as states is going to be taken away.
Is it little? You just
Uh,
mentioned
it-
about
just a
multi-billion.
multi-billion.
It's the little idea that we're getting. But I mean, more than revenue, we regulate. Regulation means that these people that bet and we call punters, they're domiciled in our states.
Yeah.
And that's,
So-
I'm sure that's the people that thought about that constitution, the 1999 constitution as amended, they knew that, okay, well, there was no internet then. Either way, whether it is on land or offshore or in the air, these people that are still punters are still within our states. If I had a situation sometime last year where somebody had a controversy with a betting company, which I'm not going to mention any names, and they will come to the office and fill a form. We will investigate that. But somebody in Ibadan or in Shaki
have to go.
will not go to Abuja and be, do you understand, and be trying to resolve issues that has happened with a company. But a company that is domiciled, one-on-one, that we know, that we relate with all the time, we can actually mediate with them and
easier to
settle
navigate.
exactly, manage and settle disputes.
Okay.
So it will really, really limit the powers of the states and take away the revenue that we're generating from that industry.
Aside from revenue, also the ease of business, because we're tired of going
Absolutely.
to Abuja for any small mistake any industry has. We have to go to Abuja to regulate.
Exactly.
But if you can access, like you rightly said, within your state, it's easier. We'll take a short break. When we come back, we'll wrap up this conversation. Stay with us.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Welcome back. We still have our guests in the building, Olajide Boladuro, the member of the Federation of State Gaming Regulators of Nigeria, and the Director General of your State Gaming and Lottery Board. So we have more questions for you.
Yeah, so we know that they're about to debate this bill, and you have your opinions, but if you were to have an opportunity to speak to the lawmakers, what would you like them to take in? You know, what opinions would you like them to take in as they debate this bill?
Thank you for having me again. I mean, like I said earlier, we were at the National Assembly last week,
Okay.
and because we heard, I mean, as they normally do, they were trying to run it through, but we got intel that this bill was already about to be read on the floor, so we rushed to Abuja, and luckily we were able to meet with some of the senators,
Okay.
and we submitted petitions to the offices of all of the 109 senators, the respectable ones,
Okay.
and they are actually in concurrence with us to at least take a look at it, so that they don't go the route of the Green Chamber where they just ran through it and it was passed. So we're just appealing to them to abide by the Constitution, abide by true federalism,
Okay.
and most importantly, abide by the judgment of the Supreme Court. We should not rubbish our judiciary. The Supreme Court is the apex court. Like a friend of mine says jokingly, he says after the Supreme Court is lawn tennis court. There's nothing after Supreme Court.
Yeah.
So I
Lord
mean,
Scott.
exactly. So once you get a Supreme Court judgment,
You should
they are
abide
just
by
trying to
that.
coin this bill to call it a different name.
But
It's
it's the
like
same thing.
it's like the same book with a new cover,
Okay.
or an old wine in a new bottle. Do you understand what I'm saying? So there's nothing different. The Supreme Court was clear. Whether it's online or offshore, or whatever, it is gaming, it is lottery, it is betting, and it is, the powers are vested with the state. The Constitution is clear. There's no ambiguity in the Constitution. There's no lacuna in what and the judges were unanimous. It was not like it was 5-2 or 4-3. It was 7-0 on this very day.
Okay.
And like I said again, even some of the judges that were not on the bench on that day, there were some of them, like Justice Ellen Ogunwomoju. She knows about the case. She was not even there at that time. She has mediated on other cases as well. We have gone a bunch of cases that we have won. I mean, there was a particular company that sued Oyo State on this thing as well, using commerce and law and industry or what. And the judges were like, "This is not commerce. This is game of chance. It is not. This lottery is not commerce. You cannot liken it to commerce." So, I mean, some lawsuits have been won in the past, but the one by the apex court is the one that we want the lawmakers respectfully to abide by and respect the judgment of the Constitution and the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Okay, I agree with you that this can still be remedied at this time. So the need for the objections, But imagine that the lawmaker bringing this bill does not throw it out. And then there's a constitutional amendment that removes this from the concurrent list back to the legislative list. If the amendment was done from that angle, what would you see?
What would be next steps?
What would be the next steps?
Okay, so if a proper amendment was done, you know what's an amendment to, and I don't know when last we had one in the
Constitution.
because it has to go through the two-thirds of the states, of all the state assemblies. So,
eight assembly
yeah,
had one.
Yeah, exactly. So if that ever happened, of course the states will comply and we'll find a way to work with the federal government if that should ever happen. But as it stands today, the constitution, the gaming and lottery, the constitution is clear. It's a residual matter. It resides with the states, and the constitution should be upheld, and the decision of the Supreme Court should be upheld.
Okay, so let me speak as a mother and a concerned citizen because I'm raising teenagers.
Okay.
And we have concerned parents who have looked through and seen that this gaming is something we don't want our kids to get into. We've seen a lot of addictions come from gaming. And my question is, it's not something, I know many Nigerians are involved in it. People do it, leisure, make money, you know, a game of chance. It can happen, it cannot happen, and all of that. But what is, in your perspective, the constitutional way to regulate this industry, whether it's in the purview of the state or the federal government? It's not a problem, but how do you think we can regulate it so that a lot of us, a lot of Nigerians don't get to that position where they are addicted, they are selling properties just to be a part of the, how do you make it a bit sane for a climb like ours?
Okay, so thank you for that wonderful question. So responsible gaming is what we call it.
Okay.
And responsible gaming transcends to various operators. There are things, there are measures that they are, by regulation, they know to put in place. Self-exclusion is one of them. If you are betting to, like you put 200,000 naira and you have reached your limits, the system cuts you off. You are not able to go back. Another thing is, my own governor, His Excellency Governor Seyi Makinde, that appointed me in 2019, one of his main concern is underage gaming. It's one thing that we take very seriously in Oyo State. He's very, very particular about that, and we make sure that we do a lot of sensitization. We issue huge fines. If I find an underage child in your betting shop in Oyo State, it's a huge fine. It's ₦1 million per child. So they make sure that they don't encourage and school children are in school and they are not betting. As far as online is concerned, this is why we need proper regulation. We can work with the National Assembly to where we enact laws and enact technology that will help us to debar underage children from betting. We do a lot of things, a lot of sensitization, a lot of advocacy that we do amongst the operators and the punters for them to understand the danger. It's like you write on the pack of cigarette that cigarette smoking is dangerous to your health, and people still light up and fire it up every day. So we will continue to try. We will continue to put in measures. We have MOUs with various sister countries like the UK Gambling Commission, the European Gambling Commission. Next week we're going to Niagara in Canada on a regulatory mission as well in Canada, to where we learn new things on how to regulate and how to sanitize the gaming industry in this country.
Okay.
Can I ask, so I'm just listening to that and I'm wondering if maybe a Central Gaming Commission is better able to provide oversight in issues like this, or this makes your point that it is better how it has, how the Constitution has laid it, because you are better able, closer to your punters than from federal government. Okay,
so if you look at this case, it's
a whole case.
If you look at this case, the Federation of State Gaming Regulators is what we call ourselves now. So when this case was filed in 2008, it was just Lagos State. So what the judges did was they said every other state that is aligned with this position, they should go and join the case. So 21 states joined. We were on the same. So after the judgment was passed, even the states that didn't join at that time, I mean, you know the country that we are. Some people, like in the northern area of the country, they don't want gaming, they don't want to be part of it, so they stood to be on the other side. But some of them have even come around. So we formed an association called Federation of State Gaming Regulators of Nigeria, which we are now issuing a reciprocity license. So we give you one license, you can practice. If FSGN give you a license, you can go to Enugu or Cross River or Taraba and practice. Because that one license allows you to. So we have a chairman in the name of Mr. Bashir Are, the CEO, Lagos State Gaming and Lottery Authority, and we have other 6 vice chairmen for all the 6 other geopolitical zones. So we meet as ESCO and we discuss various things like responsible gaming, how to assist our operators, sustainable development within our regions as well. So we do all these things just to make sure that the industry has some sanity.
Okay, so do you think that if this bill passes, perchance, right, that it sets a precedent that waters down the judgment of the Supreme Court, right, and the autonomy that states have over certain areas, which includes gaming, and if this is now going to now encroach on other areas, because if the precedent is set, there's a reason why we have separation of powers, and if a precedent is set where the legislative arm of government doesn't respect the judgment of the Supreme Court, the judiciary, what do you think will happen moving forward?
So interestingly, I was asking one of the attorneys in Lagos State yesterday that we attended the court. I said, "Madam, do you remember one of the judges saying that you can only appeal this judgment to God?"
After the Supreme Court.
After the Supreme Court. One of them actually said that. So we know that the Senate President is not going to let the judiciary be rubbished. I can almost beat my chest to that.
So you're not worried?
So I'm not worried because we want to also appeal to the other senators and the chairman of that particular committee. I think it's ethics and rules or whatever, and the chairman of the judiciary committee, that they need to look at this bill holistically and respect the Constitution, the rule of law, and the judgment of the Supreme Court. But if eventually it passes, I can almost guarantee you that the president is not going to assent to this bill.
Nima?
Okay, so I wanted to commend you because while we're talking, I just got carried away listening to you. I see no fear.
No.
Really, because the Senate President being a lawyer, you've mentioned that, and he would be one who wants to respect the rule of law. I see this bill not going far. But the fact that you came out publicly, yesterday I took the story on the papers,
yes,
where your Confederation of State Gaming Regulators had objected to the bill. I like the fact that you did not go and sit down because you have certain assurances and leave things to chance. So well done. That's all I have
Leave
to
things
say.
to gaming, because gaming is a game of chance. Yes, so
There's a lot of money involved. So
yes,
It
there
is.
is a lot of money involved, and I don't even know what to say when it comes to gaming, because it's really not my thing.
But for me, like I always say, it's always regulation before revenue. Once you regulate well, the revenue will come. So regulation is key for us. We need to regulate the industry. Nigeria is a huge market. We were in Lisbon 2 weeks ago, and you see people from Asia, from South America, from every corners of the world. The biggest gaming conference in the world, which is ICE, is coming up in
conference.
in February next year.
What
Yeah, it's-
percentage would you say Nigeria plays in this whole market? Like what
This
percentage
gaming
to
market.
Nigeria?
Oh, I know in Africa we have the huge, we have the
largest
largest market in
population.
Africa, of course, because of our population. But in the world, I won't be able to say.
If you were to rank us, it's
Let me just ask
We
you
have
on
a
the side.
gamer here.
Okay, I wanted to
who's
someone
a
is
gamer?
done.
I
So
would not mention her name.
all of us have expressed fears about how gaming can be addictive and how it
Right.
can negatively impact our society. What is your CSR deliberately like in line of education?
So what we do, as part of what we do, is a percentage of what we get as revenue is used as CSR, and as part of condition for our license as well, we make sure
Compelled?
that we compel our operators to do 1 or 2 CSR in each of our states every every year. It's part of the condition of license. And even we ourselves, we have a trust fund that we have. For instance, Lagos State has built a few schools and fire stations and a few other things that I know. I mean, doing surgeries. Or yesterday, we're doing the same thing as well. We renovate schools. We have not built. I mean, we don't make revenue like Lagos. We have not built no fire stations, but renovation of schools.
Are you sure?
Helping with the primary health care center. My governor is very, very particular about that because we set out a percentage that we use
for the CSR.
For the CSR.
Thank you so much, Olajide Boladuro, for joining us today, a member of the Federation of State Gaming Regulators of Nigeria and the Director General of your State Gaming and Lottery Board. Welcome. Thank you for joining us on the show today to share what's been going on. And we wish you the best while you wait to hear what the Senate House is going to do finally because of this bill. And the gaming sister we have, sorry, I couldn't take your last question.
No, it's not, she's a goat. It's not the last question. It's not, I just wanted to make a statement. No, I just wanted to make a statement like that. What do you think US Visa Lottery is about?
Still gaming now.
Still gaming. It's still a game of
But that's all we can take on the show today. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you again tomorrow for another beautiful show. And we'll beat up Amaka after the show later.
Give your life to Christ.
She just confessed. That's all we can take. Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.